Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. The question is, if Kamsa really was afraid of Krishna coming, then, I was asked this question by someone, so I just am repeating this question that why keep Devaki and Vasudeva together? They could have put them separate, so there will be no children and no, no kind of.
Well, Krishna's pastimes are designed by Jogamaya, not by you. Okay. The other consideration is that pastimes are like a play on a stage, drama on a stage. So it is arranged in such a way that just as a drama is arranged, you can't question why this happened and why it was not written in that way. Right? So, so here the arrangement is Paritrana Sadhunam Vinashaya Dushkritam. Right? Krishna comes with a purpose. And if it is like a drama, then the drama is played when a king organizes a drama, who gets a chance to act in that drama? Any Tom, Dick and Harry? Or Krishna's own, or king's own men? So similarly in Krishna's pastimes, even the demons are actually Krishna's own men. Like if you look back, who is Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha? Similarly, Kamsa also, we have to see that they all are actually arranged by Krishna's divine arrangement, Yogamaya's divine arrangement.
There's one more question.
And by the way, as you were saying, what was your point? Krishna, Devaki and Vasudeva could have been
kept separate from each other in different cells?
That was done, that. They were imprisoned, and they were chained in the prison. They were not allowed to have physical contact. But as I mentioned, like Krishna, the transmission of the soul happened through from the heart to heart.
Even the first 6 children?
Anyway, as I said, like these are Krishna's transcendental pastimes. We should not try to see things from mundane perspective. Like Lord's appearance doesn't take place through this physical contact.
Like you mentioned that the 5 years were compressed into 3.5 years. Can you please elaborate on that?
So you see, like this thing comes out, like Jiva Goswami is making that point. When Krishna danced the Rasa dance, he was actually 8 years old. So he is giving the thing that actually, when Krishna was apparently 8 years old, he was actually 14 years old. According to... But the thing is, then again, it's Krishna's pastimes. It is not, but sometimes some justification is given in that way. Like, it's, after all, Krishna is the controller of time. Can Krishna be controlled by time? In one of the Purans, the description has been given. The first time Krishna had his Rasa dance, it was Nanda Maharaj was tending the cows, and Krishna was on his lap. He was carrying Krishna and tending the cows. Krishna was just a baby. And then Krishna wanted to have the rasa dance. So all of a sudden a cloud appeared in the sky. Nanda Maharaj became worried. Oh, storm is going to come, how to take care of the cows. So Radharani was there, so he gave Krishna to Radharani to hold while he was going to arrange the cows. And when Krishna came to Radharani, he could not assume his baby form. He assumed his Navakishore form. And it is described that that's the first time the rasa dance was performed in these pastimes. Now the various other questions can arise also. How come Radharani be there, who as a full-grown lady? Well, I mean, these are, beyond us, these descriptions. So that's why the thing is, when it comes to the scriptural descriptions, it's better not to try to reason it with our limited intelligence. Rather leave it at Lord's inconceivable arrangements for his pastimes. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
So I was just to clarify what you were just saying about the Lord's pastimes and just leaving it as it is. Our purpose of studying this is to really just know Krishna. Coming from kind of a Christian background, a lot of times we would study biblical stories and there would be morals or things that they were teaching tools as well as the biblical stories. And I'm wondering if Krishna's pastimes are also, if we're meant to take things from them or if it's literally just to know Krishna deeper.
Well, can you say it again? I couldn't really...
Sure. So, coming from a Christian background, when I was,
Coming from?
a Christian background.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Western, I would go to Sunday school and we would study the Bible and we would learn about Jesus and Jesus' associates. And there were so many stories that we would study that were meant to also be teaching tools. They were meant to offer lessons, and not only just to know Jesus, but that we studied these stories to know Jesus, but also to learn about ways to behave, and they were kind of almost allegorical in some ways, but they were meant to be taken also as just true pastimes. So I'm wondering, translating that into now coming to Krishna consciousness and wanting to understand and know Krishna and the stories of his pastimes, do we look at his pastimes in that way, or is it ever taught in that way, or is it strictly just we want to learn about Krishna and these are his pastimes, and there isn't this teaching point that comes through to say, we're telling you this story so that you can learn this is what you do, this is what you don't do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. See, there are two natures, two worlds, you can say. This world, material world, which is following certain rules or certain mechanism, which is, a specific arrangement, and it is following that arrangement. Like, for example, the sun rises at a certain time, sets at a certain time, the seasons change, and so forth. The body grows from one phase to another. It is maintaining certain stringent rule or law, this nature. But the other reality is completely different. The other reality, the spiritual reality, is simply arranged, simply based on Krishna's will. That Krishna's will is what is active. And the execution of that will of Krishna, or desire of Krishna, is arranged by Jogomaya, Krishna's internal potency. So like here, say for example, for sun to rise, we have to wait till the morning. But there, Krishna just wished, let the sun be up now. And the sun will appear. Krishna may think, oh, just as it happened in that description, he wanted to have a rasa dance. And it was the middle of the day, and it turned into the full moon night. Krishna picked up his flute and started to play. All the gopis came running. You see the difference. Like, in a way, you can say it is something like, as I just mentioned, a drama on a stage or a movie. Like, just as a movie is kind of, you're sitting there and things are happening in a way. It doesn't have any relevance to the outside world, right? The outside world, you may be sitting in Wheeling, in a movie theater, but inside the movie, you are seeing some scenes in Mount Everest, right? So Krishna's pastimes are like that, like a drama or a movie, happening simply by Krishna's sweet will, Krishna's own desire. That is the meaning of pastimes. So now the consideration is whether we're going to accept it or not. That's why, you see, the reasoning mind has difficulty to enter into that domain. Too much reasoning will not allow us to get in there. Does it answer your question? So, and that's why we have to be tuned into that, understanding. That Krishna's potency is inconceivable. Krishna can make anything happen. And by Krishna's own sweet will, all kinds of things, all kinds of wonderful things happen. Just through one pastime, Krishna can accomplish millions of purposes. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, we always say that Krishna, when he came as Krishna himself, so he came from Golok Vrindavan. So was there another Krishna present in Golok Vrindavan in spiritual world?
Yes, good point. Like again, Krishna's inconceivable potency. He can be in Golokeva Nirasati, Akhilatma Bhuta. He is in Golok, at the same time, he is in the heart of everyone. So if he can be in the heart of everyone, can he also be in the earth planet when his pastimes are going on? But sometimes there is a feeling that Krishna has left. Especially in Dwarka, they feel that, oh, Krishna left and didn't come back for a long time. Krishna went to Hastinapur. Krishna is with the Pandavas. He didn't come back for a long time. So that feeling also is there sometimes. And also not only with Krishna, by Krishna's will, Krishna's associates, Krishna's devotees also can expand in many ways. Like for example, when Brahma came as Haridas Thakur, his position did become vacant. And that was of course taken over by a particular devotee of Krishna. But the thing is, Haridas Thakur went back to Golok Vrindavan. or Haridas Thakur went back to the spiritual sky, right? But still Brahma is still there. Okay, Krishna is performing his pastimes not only in one planet. Krishna's pastimes are simultaneously going on in so many different planets. Now Prabhupada mentioned that somewhere Krishna is just born, somewhere Krishna is killing Kamsa, somewhere Krishna is playing with the cowherd boys, somehow Krishna, just as sun is present throughout the planet in different phases, similarly different phases of Krishna's pastime are simultaneously going on in so many different universes. So along with Krishna, Krishna's associates are also expanding.
Thank you, Maharaj. Very convincing answer. Also,
so that's why this is one area where we have to leave our reasoning behind. We simply have to accept it, the faith. If you try to reason, then it will be difficult to conceive.
Thank you so much. Also, if you can just speak a little bit about, we heard Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, like when Akrura, so...
Yeah, the Krishna, Brajendra Nandan Krishna, never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavanam parittajya kutra kadapi na gacchati. Leaving Vrindavan, he doesn't go anywhere. Kutra kadapi na gacchati. So then the question may arise then, but Akrura came and took Krishna away. And Krishna didn't come back to Vrindavan for so many years. But answer to that is that when Akrura went to take bath in Jamuna at the border of Vrindavan and Mathura, or at the border of Vrindavan, at that time, Krishna, Brajendra Nandan Krishna, went back to Vrindavan. And Vasudev Krishna was sitting in the chariot. So it's the Vasudev Krishna that Akrura brought to Mathura. And so Vrindavan Krishna is there, in Vrindavan. The thing is that when the residents of Vrindavan used to deal with Krishna, they used to think that they were dreaming. To them it seemed like a dream that they were dealing with Krishna. And that's why sometimes they get plunged into an intense separation. Oh, Krishna has gone. We are dreaming. When Krishna would come, they would think that they are dreaming. And in the dream, they would think that Krishna has come to them. So again, how is it? Inconceivable. Unless and until we go there, we won't be able to figure out what it was like.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Maharaj, maybe this is just part of the pastime, but why did Akrura, why was he, even though he was a pure devotee, why did he stay with Kamsa? Kind of like reminds me of Bhishma Dev remaining with Duryodhana. Is there a similarity? Why didn't he just go to Vrindavan and be with, or was this part of pastime?
We have to probably see the social customs those days. Like Bhishma stayed with the Kauravas out of sense of, what should I say, that moral and ethical consideration. That I belong to this family, I have to take care of these nephews, So, it's a kind of a natural consideration that he had to stay there. With Akrura also in a similar way, okay, Kamsa has become, like the question may arise also, how come Vasudeva was still there in Mathura? Why didn't he leave? Like the feeling probably was that, well, this is my ancestral home, I have to stay here. Although Kamsa is performing his atrocities, but we have to carry on. And with Akrura there are some other, he sided up also with Shatadhanna. Like that was also, in the murdering of Satyabhama's father, Satyajit. He was a party to that, you can understand how is it. In one hand he's such an exalted devotee of Krishna, but he's getting entangled in this kind of activities. Therefore we have to understand, let's not try to judge. Let's just accept the way it is. And the understanding is Krishna's pastimes. Through these pastimes, Krishna is teaching us certain lessons. And to understand that lessons, we have to go to the previous acharyas. They'll explain what is the purpose.
Guru Maharaj, the washerman who was killed by Krishna, is it true that he was the same washerman who doubted Sita's character during Ramchandra's, and he got the reaction in this life? Is that true?
Yeah, I think some Purana mentions that here. Yes, Sabbasachi.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the seminar. My question has to do with the Bhagavad Gita verse, which talks about knowing Krishna's pastime in truth, avamyaveti tattvataha. So,
knowing Krishna's pastime?
In truth. Then that person never takes his birth again and goes back to the spiritual world. So this knowing Krishna's pastime in truth, Guru Maharaj, what does it mean?
Evang javetti tattvataha.
Yes.
Tattvataha, in truth. In truth means, first consideration is that these descriptions are not fictitious. These descriptions are not products of someone's imagination. That's one aspect of that tattvataha. The other aspect of the tattvataha is these activities did happen, enacted by the Lord Himself, right? And His ability is inconceivable. So just accept it the way it is. So that is the meaning of accepting things tattvataha, in truth, as absolute reality. Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. I have few questions. Prabhupada mentioned Vrindavan and New Vrindavan are non-different. How can we understand that point?
Yes, Vrindavan and New Vrindavan are non-different. Only thing is that we have to have perfect eyes to see that. With our material eyes, we won't be able to see that.
And the second thing is...
Like for example, isn't Vrindavan Chandra here? Right? Isn't Vrindavan Chandra the center of this community? So if we look at it in that way, then we see that this new Vrindavan is non-different from Vrindavan. It is a matter of our perception. On the other hand, if we go to Vrindavan and see Loi Bazaar and this bazaar and that bazaar, all kinds of trading and all kinds of things going on, then is that really Vrindavan? No. The real Vrindavan is where Krishna is the center and Krishna's pastimes are going on.
And recently when I was speaking with one of the senior devotees, they mentioned that some of the pastimes are, being created by the devotees in their love. How can we understand like...
I never heard that in any scripture.
Okay.
That's never mentioned, and Prabhupada never mentioned that. That these pastimes are devotees' imagination, as if Krishna is a product of somebody's imagination. But that's a dangerous way. I don't know where you heard that, but I mean it's shocking to hear that. Huh? Internet. Yeah.
We hear that kind of stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
You don't hear it in Prabhupada's books.
Right. Anyway, don't fall for that kind of thing. Just evam javetti tattvataha, as we just discussed. Whatever we are hearing, whatever we are reading in the scriptures, whatever we are reading in Prabhupada's books, is the truth and nothing but the truth, but the absolute truth. Yes.
Hare Krishna. I have two questions. First question, is it true that those souls that were born in Kali Yuga cannot take part ever in Krishna's pastimes? And I heard that there's a special arrangement also for such souls that they actually can. If that's true or not, that's my question.
No, I didn't get your question. The living entities of Kali Yuga?
Yes, those who are born in Kali Yuga, they will never be able to take part in Krishna's pastimes.
Who said that? Where did you get that?
I don't know, so is that true or not?
So you don't know?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
You see, in order to create the good fortune for the living entities of Kali Yuga, Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Kali Yuga living entities have a very special prerogative to enter into Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes. And that is why Prabhupada came to distribute this good fortune all over the world. Prabhupada is creating the good fortune for the living entities of the age of Kali Yuga to go back to the spiritual sky, go back to Vrindavan. And not only that, they won't even settle for Vaikuntha. If they go to Vaikuntha, they say, not here, somewhere else.
Okay,
they won't settle down unless and until they go to Golok Vrindavan.
And there, and I guess the second question will be, what's the process of, how do you get accepted into the play? So, okay, once the jiva goes to the spiritual world, there's the pastimes going on there, and at the same time, there are multiple pastimes going on in the material world at the same time. So, what is the process like?
Generally, of course, the thing is, it can happen. Ultimately, it will happen by Krishna's own arrangement. It is not just only one arrangement. Krishna can make various arrangements. But general understanding is that when one becomes qualified to enter into Krishna's pastimes, he gets a chance to be born in a place where in the material universe where Krishna's pastimes is going on. There he gets a chance to take part in Krishna's pastimes, and thus he becomes qualified to go to Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes. Sometimes somebody can be elevated directly from here to Golok Vrindavan. Various possibilities are there. Also, the description of Brihad Bhagavatamrita There is gradually elevating from planet to planet, the way the Gopkumar finally goes to Vrindavan. So there are various ways it can happen. Yes.
Guru Maharaj, you said that some of the Gopas like Nanda Maharaj and others also came to Mathura to attend the function. So after Krishna killed Kamsa, Krishna, we know, he didn't go back to Vrindavan at that time. So how did Nanda Maharaj and the Gopas leave without Krishna? Did they protest? Did they ask him to come back? And what happened? How did they go back?
Yeah, they asked Krishna. Actually, not they asked Krishna. Krishna told them, now you go back. I have something to do here. See, Kamsa has been killed, and there's so many things, and I have met my parents after such a long time. So you all go back, I'll come back after some time. Krishna assured them, and Nanda Maharaj with a heavy heart went back to Vrindavan with the others. So these are another, although Krishna is there in Vrindavan, but Vasudev Krishna is assuring them that he will go there. So.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. We see that there is fear and suffering in the material world. There is also fear and suffering in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, from the pastimes that we see, that the gopis are suffering in separation of Krishna in his various pastimes. There's always some kind of fear element also. Whenever Krishna is killing demons, then his friends are obviously in fear about the demons, but Krishna is taking care of them. So there is fear, there is suffering, but I suppose that it is sweet. I understand. I somehow...
Good point. You see, the material nature is the reflection of the spiritual world, right? So whatever is there in the reflection is there also, but in a completely different way. Like apparently appears to be alike, but it is completely opposite. An example, sunrise and sunset apparently appears to be alike, but they are diametrically opposed. One is the beginning of the night, the other is the beginning of the day. Right? So similarly, what appears to be intense suffering in the material nature is of another dimension in the spiritual sky, although it appears to be like that. On the other hand, it can be experienced or exemplified in this way, that separation, the apparent suffering due to separation from Krishna is giving rise to intense joy. That if the joy is in being Krishna conscious, in separation we tend to become more Krishna conscious than in union.
Yes, Maharaj. I had a follow-up question. So, as a devotee in this material world, how should we deal with fear? What should we fear as a devotee? What is an attitude to cultivate to overcome any kind of fear or anxiety that we have while we are practicing Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, put Krishna in the center, right? If fear is there, think of Krishna, pray to Krishna. right? If anxiety is there, just think in the light of Krishna. Then what will happen? Will the anxiety continue to be there?
No.
Will fear continue to be there? No.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I have almost same kind of question. You say Krishna never lived Vrindavan. If Krishna never lived Vrindavan, how come when Vrindavan had that condition, everybody in Viraha, everybody was like a Mritapraya fan?
As I mentioned, to understand that we have to go to Vrindavan. When the Goswami, Jiva Goswami is saying Krishna never lives Vrindavan, we have to accept he never lived Vrindavan. As I said also, that Krishna is there, but they think that they are dreaming.
Yeah, because when Uddhav came back and he saw how it has happened, whole Vrindavan.
As I said, like we have to be there. We don't have, it will be difficult for us to understand. Yes, they are feeling the separation. The feeling of separation is there, but the feeling of separation is there to intensify their love for Krishna. In separation, the love becomes more intense. So that is why that feeling of separation is prevailing in Vrindavan. And another consideration here is Bhauma Vrindavan. Krishna's pastimes in earthly Vrindavan is little different from Krishna's pastimes in Golok. In Golok, Krishna's childhood pastimes is not there. In Golok, Krishna is Navakishore. So this childhood pastimes takes place only in Bhauma Vrindavan, earthly Vrindavan. So in a way we can also consider this feeling of intense separation that Krishna has left is a feature of Bhauma Vrindavan. I can answer that only when I go there.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
I was going through Srimad Bhagavatam, Rupa Goswami Pad's commentary. He's saying that also all the demons, they are not there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is, the demons are there in Bhauma Leela, and the impressions of the demons are there. They remember, actually just like Krishna's childhood pastime, they remember, oh, when Krishna was a little child, he did that. And in Golok Vrindavan, the demons are not there. The demons have been tamed by Krishna. Like Keshi is there. Keshi is there in the stable. And sometimes Krishna goes on a joyride on Keshi's back. Arishta is there in the Goshala of Vrindavan. Kalia is there in the lake. And sometimes Krishna goes on the back of life, jumps on Kaliya's back, puts his chadar on around Kaliya's mouth, and holding it like the rein, he rides on Kaliya's back. And he invites his friends also, come on, let's see. And they have a water sport on Kaliya's hood in this way. So that is how all these demons are there in Vrindavan, but in a different way. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare.